Hello YouTube and welcome back into another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance and we're doing another fan requested armor guide. This request comes from Oliver Allen and it says, it would be cool if you did a guide for the other art in the game like the knight in the bottom left corner of Rattay when you zoom in on it on the map or stuff like that. Love the video. And so that's relatively easy. So what he's talking about is when you zoom in and in any area of the map that has one of these extra screens, you get that extra screen that shows you some art. And so if you do it over in Rattay, you get this guy in your bottom corner. So you can see he's got a decent looking suit of armor. Pretty unique looking. A little bit unrealistic with some weird chains hanging off it. But honestly, not that hard to replicate in the game. So we're going to put it together. And obviously, like always, we're going to start off with weapons. So for our weapons, we start off with a dagger, because everyone needs a dagger. Then we move on to the Lords of Lipa shield. And now this doesn't look like the shield he has in the picture. And that shield in the picture does not exist in the game. There are a few red shields. And I could have used there's a common shield that looks red that I could have used, but the shield in the picture has the Lords of Lipa, this exact icon on it. And since we don't have anything that actually looks like that in the game, I figured this would be the next best thing. Honestly, that shield looks like it's some sort of a buckler, is what it looks like. But we're going to go with the Lords of Lipa shield. Then clearly he's using a longsword because it's very, very long. There's no sword that looks like that in the game. I could have gone with Herod's sword for a couple of reasons. One, it's one that you can actually buy in Rattay. And for another, it's got some gold in it, and the sword in the picture has a little bit of gold in the center of the pommel. But it didn't look right, so I figured I'd go with the Piercer because it's a good mid-range long sword that felt right with the suit of armor. Basically, that's all the decision making. I mean, the pommel's the same shape, but other than that, that's all the decision making went into the Piercer. So really, any long sword, I guess, would be fine. And then, of course, we went with a spear because he's clearly holding a spear in the picture. And spears are awesome. So that's the weapons. That's the total weapon loadout for the suit. Let's move on to clothing. So for clothing, we start off with regular bling. We've got the heraldic neck chain, knight spurs, and the signet ring. My go-to combo for knights, basically. If they're indistinguished, not a specific character, I like to go with these three items for knights. And this is a knight. Then we have the yellow-black hose, and I went with these because it's Rattay, and those are the colors of Rattay, so it makes sense. The padded coif, I went with the light tannish yellow variant because we're sticking with that yellow theme. And then a decorated arming doublet, and I went with this because it's one of the best padded pieces of armor you can get in the game, and you can't see what he's wearing, so, you know, logic would dictate if you can't see what it is, pick one that fits a theme and has good stats. So that's why we went with this. So that's clothing. Let's pop on some mail. Now what we can see he's wearing for sure is comprehensive chainmail, and I love that. So we have the long noble hauberk, the mail chassis, and the noble's mail coif. All best in class stat-wise and offering full body protection. And you can see in the picture that he is wearing full mail. You can see the mail popping out through his the leg armor. You can see in a couple areas that he's wearing the mail chassis. You can definitely obviously tell that he's wearing a long-sleeved full chainmail hauberk. And then again, you can see a full mail coif on his head. There we go, full mail. Let's pop on the armor. Okay, and so for the armor, we aren't able to hit it perfectly because for starters, we have the dyed Milanese brigandine is what I decided to go with here. I almost went with the Warhorse brigandine, but this felt more right. So, you obviously can't replicate the one he's wearing in the picture for a couple reasons. One of which being, as someone who cares about history, I would never put that on. Why on earth would someone have a couple chains dangling from their armor like that? I mean, other than to give your enemy something to grab onto or to get caught on something during combat. It may look cool, but historically and practically speaking, it doesn't make any sense. So, the smooth brigandine, that's definitely what we're going to want to go with. And it is red, so we went with the red one. And obviously it has great stats. So there's that. Then I went with the Noble's composite chassis for the leg armor. And I went with these for a couple reasons. One of which being, you can see in the picture that he's wearing, at least from the knee down, or upper thigh down in the picture, he's got plate chassis on, and they end in sabatons, actually. Pointy plate foot armor is what we can see in the picture. So we know that it went all the way down. But there is a little bit of decorative brigandine looking armor up on the upper thigh in the picture, so I figured the Noble's mail chassis fit perfectly. Or the Noble's composite chassis, sorry. So that's what we went with for the leg armor. Then we have the riveted gloves, and I went with these because in the picture you can see he's wearing, it's got plate covering his hand and his fingers, but up higher on the wrist and everything, it's got what looks like leather or brigandine, and these are really the only gloves in the game that match that. So we went with the riveted gloves. Then lastly, for a helmet, you can see he's clearly wearing the common bassinet. So we popped on a common bassinet. Now you may notice there's no armor, there's no pauldrons. That's because he's not wearing any in the picture. As much as I'm sacrificing some decent protection, because those actually offer quite a bit of protection in a suit of armor, we're not going to put any on there because he doesn't have any on in the picture. Stat-wise, we're looking at a total value of 10,531.4 groschen, putting it at the middle of the road. This is not a cheap suit of armor, but it's also not an expensive suit of armor. Feels very right for a, basically either, maybe not a landed knight, maybe just a bannerman. Someone who's going to serve, you know, a knight, but kind of like Sir Robard or Captain Bernard, you know, about that level of knight. Someone serving a lord but doesn't have an estate. So it kind of feels right for that. Actually, potentially this feels decent for a late game Henry, like end game Henry, after he's been, you know, I won't spoil anything, but you know, this feels right for about that level of person. So we'll leave that there where it is. Then for the AAR, or average armor rating, we have 86.25, which is actually pretty good considering we're not wearing any arm plate armor and we have an open-faced helmet. Especially the common bassinet, which has lower stats than a lot of the other open-faced helmets. So pretty good actually considering. So I would place this stat-wise, I would say very high end of medium armor, low end of heavy armor. So not bad actually. And then for total weight, including weapons and all, we have 79.1 pounds, which is actually pretty dang good considering that protection-wise we're nearing heavy armor, because that 79.1 pounds is at the high end of medium armor weight. So I guess it makes sense given that, you know, that's where we're at. But so protection to weight ratio is not bad. So that is the suit of armor. Let's see how it performs in combat. All right, we're approaching our destination. Now obviously we're going to have a decided advantage over our opponents because of our awesome spear. Like, you know, a little bit of that going on. Ooh, a dog. I don't like the sound of that. Alright, we're gonna finish off this guy. There we go. I don't know if that guy's dead or not. He is now. Oh, this guy's not dead. Hey, you don't run away. Rattay Knight Henry doesn't let anyone escape. God, the spears are just so overpowered. Like, I like the halberd or the billhook or the lucerne hammer. Some of those pole arms, they're obviously great. They're also overpowered. But the spear and the hunting spear in this game are just ridiculously OP. One stab to the center of the chest will kill almost all opponents. If they're wearing heavy plate armor or heavy brigandine, it usually might take two. But the stabbing attack with the spears is just so deadly. So, I mean, that wasn't even much of a competition. I was going to say let's check out the armor, but as you can see, there's no damage on it because I don't think we took a hit. I mean, the dog bit us at one point, so I guess... Okay, yeah, so we got some dirt on our feet. But other than that, held up pretty well. So that is this suit of armor. Like I've said before, you add a polearm to any suit of armor and it's just going to be good from the get-go. But if you have any requests, obviously leave them down in the comment section below. I'd be happy to take a look at them and maybe make them happen. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.